bit of the camera right there. That's good.
Ooh. We're now live.
Hello, everybody. We are doing the Millennium Falcon in LEGO. Are you ready?
That needs to be on.
Yeah. Hi.
Okay. Gotta get my caffeine for this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all caffeinated.
And today's snack, we're gonna try the Hello Kitty Goldfish strawberry shortcake.
See, I would never really have thought of strawberry shortcake goldfish. But we're gonna give it a go. Yeah.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about the set, pieces, etc.?
Okay, so this.
Hold on. You must open first. Crinkle, crinkle.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is not like the big set that has all of the inner workings. This is one of those masterpiece sets that are just designed to be a set piece. And while this is, let's just say here, this is 921 pieces, and it gives you like the entire scope of it as you see it in the original trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
Just a simple kind of build, honestly.
We actually got this at Costco, so it was much cheaper than getting on the LEGO site. However, if you check up in my link, I do have some LEGO links in there, so you can kind of hop around and see if you want to get anything on there in addition to this, if you want it.
Okay. Anything else you want us to cover while we are at this?
I don't know. Do you have like little tips as we are going to be?
I kind of do. It's right over here. Let me bring that sucker up.
While he's getting that set up, I'm going to open this.
There we go.
All right. Woo.
That is a lot of bags. That's 8 bags?
No, I think it's more. Let's go ahead and count here. I like to put my bags in order. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, so when we do this build, what we are going to do is we're going to go back and forth between each bag. So we each have a chance to do at least half of them. Okay. So if you want, I will start and you can start giving us, maybe some facts about Millennium Falcon. Before we start too, I'm going to unload this bag. This is my favorite way to organize my builds. Would you like to try a goldfish cracker?
I would like to try a goldfish cracker. Crinkle, crinkle. Okay. 0 cheesiness, which is exactly what you need in shortcake.
It actually tastes like shortcake?
Yes, it does. This is actually really good. I'm surprised and pleased.
All right, so this is what I do. I like to put the small pieces from the small bag in one, and I like to put the big pieces in the other.
And a brick breaker.
And yeah, I also keep my brick breakers from other sets. So like this is the teal ones. Those are, yeah. So I'm gonna give you.
I get the orange.
And I will start this. I'm gonna try this. Yeah. So in the beginning of the book, it does have some information about this piece. You want to kind of go over that?
So the first thing that they're talking about is actually LEGO Millennium Falcon. the history of it. So they said like the first ever Lego Star Wars set in 1999 was a Lego Millennium Falcon.
Okay.
And it's just been, they've been constantly doing it ever since. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You might want to buy it yourself and read it for yourself, because they did it in multiple languages here, folks. Like 1, 2, 3 language. So nice.
They do that.
Very thoughtful. The fastest YT 1300 space freighter in the galaxy. We are actually going to get into it because there is a history on just how fast it is.
Excellent.
Detailed Death Star destroyer. So again, we aren't doing the fully detailed one just yet, but oh hey, and they even show you. Here's how to use a brick breaker.
Helpful.
Very helpful.
Okay.
So when we are looking at the Millennium Falcon, this is a Corellian Engineering Corporation YT 1300F. So Corellian Engineering they're kind of like the Honda of different space manufacturers. They make their stuff to have lots of aftermarket add-ons and changes. And almost everybody who owns one of these YT 1300s has changed it a lot. So this is no different. But this is actually a much older ship than you think, because we actually see it in the original trilogy. Not the original, the prequel trilogy. It is in Revenge of the Sith.
Okay, that's what I was asking.
Yeah. It's actually, if you watch the scenes just after the Battle of Coruscant, where they're crashing the giant ship, and there's a shot where you can see the Senate building, and the ship that is going to be the Millennium Falcon is docking to it at that point.
And that's in what movie? That's
in Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
At this point, though, the ship is named the Stellar Envoy. The Millennium Falcon has had a ton of names over the years. Nobody even knows how many people have owned it prior to Lando Calrissian getting his hands on it.
And Lando gave it to, well, kind of gave it to.
Lost it to Han during Han Solo, which happens before before a lot of the other series goes on. And yes, all of this information was confirmed. It wasn't just like a little Easter egg that some animator put in. That is, George Lucas said, that is the Millennium Falcon right there. So you know that is word from God. It was present. The Corellian, so a lot of those different changes that we're talking about, this started as an F series, which is all about cargo capacity. Like said, nobody's even going to be sleeping in this thing. It's just cargo space. But then over all the years, people kept on changing it and changing it and changing it. So now it's got a whole other crew compartment in the back. And Lando is the one that actually added that gaming table that you're seeing them play their space chess on. That was Lando's addition to it. But that whole room that you're seeing there should have been a cargo bay. Somebody changed it to be a lounge. So it's closer to being like an FP variant of the YT-30.
And so how we don't know who did that, right?
Nope, no one knows. I don't even think that Lando did it. I think somebody did it before that, because it's just too big of a change. What we do know is that Lando changed one of the other compartments to be his quarters and his cape collection closet.
Yeah, his lots of capes.
I admire that amount of capes. If I was a man of more means, I probably would like to have some capes.
That makes me think of the New Girl episode where they all go to New York because Schmidt's supposed to be getting this award, and Nick and Winston go to lunch, and they're like, we're men of means, and they spend all their money on lunch because they keep saying that, and then they run out of money and they can't get the subway to go where they're supposed to go. That's what made me think that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a Now, as I mentioned, it's had a lot of different names and a lot of different owners. Do you care to know what all the different names are?
I mean, we have time. Let's do
We've got
it.
time. Okay, so it has been known as the Broken Bell, Corel's Pride, Close Shave, Fickle Flyer. That is an apt name for this ship. Foul Matter, Graphite Skipper, Gin Den Smoke, Long Shot, Lost and Found, Star Princess.
Who called it the Star Princess?
You know, we're going to get to it, but that's actually another good name for her. Sunfighter Franchise, Sweet Surprise, Needle's Misery, Wayward Sun, and Victory Ring. Yes, the Star Princess is a very apt name, and it's all about like all the different droids that have been on here. So that's a big story. We'll get there.
So what I would like to bring up while I'm doing this is that I don't know about you as far as a Lego builder, but it always takes me a little bit of time to get in the groove. I feel like when I build things, I get all like thumbs and kind of shaky, and it takes me a little bit to really not drop everything the whole time.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that when you start out your Lego builds?
I think for like a half second, I have a little bit of an issue with it, but then like I don't start getting shaky until we get towards the end of the build and I start getting tired.
Right.
But a lot of times what I end up doing is I'll watch and see when there's going to be something where it's like, do this 2 or 3 times, or you're going to do this, and then I know eventually I'm going to do it again, but reversed.
Right.
And I'll just do both of those at the same time.
I will too. Yeah,
that's just going to save a lot of time. Unfortunately, many times when they do that, where you do something twice but mirrored, they'll do it in separate bags, so you don't have the parts you need to get it done.
Yeah, so it kind of, I find that really happens when I make flowers, because you do it repeatedly, like 5 or 6 times, and you can kind of see ahead, this is what I need to do, and you catch it. But yeah, like I love doing the flowers, but the repetition is just immense.
Yeah, that like we did a few of those, and that was rough. Like I sat there for a while.
Now we went through our upcoming holiday releases that we were talking about. So if you missed that short, you can go look. It's already up. But before we jump into more of this, tell me what sets you're fully looking forward to doing in the holidays that you know about.
The one that I know the most about, that's just like my heart is drawn to it, is the Great Deku Tree. Because Legend of Zelda has been with me my entire life, and that's our first Legend of Zelda Lego set,
right?
Official Lego set, and I want that.
And I wouldn't call that necessarily a holiday set, but I get what you're saying. That's
something that I want during the holidays. Now, as far as Lego sets like we were talking about that wreath, and the new holiday wreath has 3 different sets of berries, so you can kind of pick and choose it, but also you can turn it into a garland, so you can use it in a lot more things, I think.
You can, yes.
You can do a lot more with it than just have a wreath.
But I think this year I'm also really into it because of that reason. Like, yeah, we have stuff that we decorate our house with for the holidays, but like I feel that if you incorporate the Lego into it, it's even that much more fun. Yes, it's more special, I think. It's because when you have a decoration, that's nice. But when you have a decoration you made yourself, that's something else. Yeah, and it's very unique because, you see these decorations people are buying from like, Target or Home Goods or whatever it is that they're getting their stuff from. And that's all well and good, but that's like mass produced. And I feel like while Lego is mass produced, it's not something that you see in a lot of home decor. It's the difference between like, you have handcrafted where you've had energy and you've had yourself put into it. You have all this stuff that you bought online and it's completely soulless. But Lego straddles that because it's something that starts as soulless little bricks, but then you put yourself into it. Okay, so I'm going to build this part really quick and I can't really see it. So that gives me the ability to angle this so he can read you what this says.
While R2-D2 has the strategic skills to win at the holographic Dejarik table, that gaming table we said that Calrissian put in there, it might be wiser to let Chewbacca win. As Han explains, droids don't pull people's arms out of their socket when they lose. Now, there's more to it. Chewbacca actually loves board games, but he is the sorest of losers. It's not just in this setting that we see him do this. There was another time where he was playing a different game with a master strategist and losing, and Han could hear him from down the hall howling in anger as the other person was just cackling. It's just something that Chewie does. He's not good at them, but he loves playing them. I think we could jive with him if he was a little bit more chill.
Probably. So I came to my first. Oh, there we go. I came to my first slight mess up when the colors are very close together. We have two different shades of browns in these little dot pieces, and yeah, I wasn't quite sure what they were asking for, but I got it.
Okay. Oh, that's the table.
I think it is. It's going to go inside, which is interesting because if you look at what this looks like, you can't really see inside the ship. So if this is really going to be the table, then it's going to be hidden and only known to us, right?
Yes. That's so fun.
Yeah, I'm I'm making noise over here. I'm sorry.
That's okay. It's okay.
Did I put this on right? I don't know if I put this on right.
What holiday sets are you looking forward to?
Well, definitely the wreath for sure. There is also a Advent wreath with a candle that I was kind of looking at as well. I already have, let's see, the Holiday Main Street set. I've got the Santa's Coming set. The one that I have loved for years, and though it's not really holiday and it's not new, is the A-frame cabin, and that one I would love to get. Even though, like I said, it's not technically like a holiday set, but it makes you feel like fall.
It's Alpine-like, though, so it kind of counts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have a feeling they're going to come out with a couple other sets when you get probably next month. That will be holiday. Yeah.
Okay.
I do know that next year sometime they're going to be coming out with the Twilight House. And I'm very interested in that. I just have no idea where we're going to put it in our house.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really nice house. Well, that's one thing I'm going to say for it. That's probably the best part of the movie to me, is their house.
Because it's Frank Lloyd Wright. And so I would really love that.
Yeah. It's just a pretty house.
It is a pretty house. Okay, what else you got for us?
Okay, so we've talked about the fact that this is the fastest ship in the galaxy. But it's a little difficult with the way that Star Wars is to know what fast is exactly, especially when we're talking hyperdrive.
I mean, it makes sense, yeah.
Okay, and in there, in the very first movie, Han says that it does 0.5 past light speed, which nobody knew what that meant. Hyperdrives are given a class based on how fast they are. The lower the class is, the faster it is. So 0.5 is actually very, very fast. Civilians mostly end up using a class 3 hyperdrive and legally are not allowed to have anything higher than a 2. The Star Destroyers that you see that the Empire is using all the time, those are a class 2 hyperdrive.
Okay.
So the original, when the Millennium Falcon was built, it was given a hyperdrive called an Avatar 10, which is a class 2. So it was already pushing the line of what civilians could use. So
just to show you, we're starting to cover up the part that you thought was the table. I don't think it's really the table.
Yet, yeah.
It could just be a fun little thing. LEGO likes to do this sometimes, right? Where they like to just put in some cute color as a nod to something. Like they do it on the Friends set. The colors of the Friends logo is underneath the floorboards on the apartment and in Central Park. So this might be what it's doing. I don't know. I guess we'll see as we go.
Okay. So then afterwards, Lando went in there and swapped out the hyperdrive. Again, the one that he put in there technically is a class 2, but when you tack on some military hardware, it becomes a Class 1. Then, in Han's ownership of it, between the Han Solo movie and A New Hope, he got a Corellian engineer indebted to him. And that engineer tricked it out, and now it's a 0.5. And it says, it is estimated that this hyperdrive goes at 6.13 quadrillion miles per hour and can travel between galaxies within 100 days.
So this is where we are at the end of bag 1. Probably a bottom of somewhere. I'm not sure.
I mean, yeah.
Moving on to bag 2.
Bag 2.
So as you can tell, Marshall is very much a... Marshall is very much a Star Wars fan. I would say I am not as much. I mean, I have a healthy appreciation for it, but I wouldn't say I'm as into it as Marshall.
Yeah, like, I don't think we really watched it as much as kids.
Right, we were more a Star Trek family growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think, it was like, it's like not like we didn't watch Star Wars, but my parents were very much into Star Trek, so he and I growing up kind of had that more than anybody else,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, we really did, and this is the first time where I've had to do a Lego build while talking, so it's kind of rough. I can't do both at the same time, it feels
Well,
like.
I can do that, so he just has to build faster because I don't have a handy-dandy list of things to talk about when it comes to Star Wars. Okay, but let's start. I remember when the prequel trilogy, 1 through 3, came out, I actually was one of those people because at the time I was dating my husband, and we were married around that same time too. But we did stand in line to watch the movies. They were super big. I remember we used to cosplay to go into the movies. I mean, it was like a big thing. Not like going to the movies now, unless it's like a fan event. It's very different. Like I haven't seen people go to the movies dressed up in a while. Have you?
No, I really haven't. Like, the last time I remember seeing it, it was actually for a Star Wars movie. It was for one of the prequel movies.
So people do that, but when I first saw Star Wars, I don't know, I think it was an interesting way for me to slowly insert myself into it because the first 3 movies are like Star Wars vanilla, right? They're like supposed to be for people to get their feet wet in the whole thing and then go into 4, 5, 6. And since then, I think that the movies have definitely been a more interesting experience, for sure. Especially when there's so many like TV shows and branch off movies and things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, like the shows that they've brought out have really deepened the universe and actually made me care a little bit more about it, I would say. Just because it makes the universe breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what's this say there?
So this says, Sir, I've isolated the reverse power flux coupling. A rare tender moment between Han Solo and Princess Leia is abruptly interrupted by an excited C-3PO. So is this supposed to be the reverse power flux coupling?
I would guess. Oh, okay, so if you look really closely, we're gonna really have to zoom in there. You can see.
Make sure you show them too.
Yeah, well, it's close enough there. So you can see right in the front of this, you have a Leia, you have a Han, and then a C-3PO right behind.
Let me see.
That's the cockpit.
Okay.
So this is really miniature sized, but they're putting all this stuff in there, and this is just about like actually this should be like right here if this is the front of the vehicle, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
what has been your favorite of the Star Wars shows that we've seen?
It's Mandalorian, hands down. Actually, yeah. I think it would be Mandalorian and then Acolyte. And can I tell you how sad I am that the Acolyte is not renewed? I don't understand what their thinking is.
I am actually really depressed about that because that show had so much promise to me. And they just got scared. They got scared again. This is the second time that the series has actually been really hurt by being scared of angry people online.
Right. I don't understand, why are they angry?
I really wish I had a good answer for that, but I'm not one of those kinds of people, so I don't know. Like, I'm more about expanding out this universe, getting it bigger, but some of them like it to just be what they want. And what they want is typically not all that great.
No,
I'm trying to be somewhat diplomatic about this. I don't, because those same kind of people will be very angry to
comment if you have an opinion of one side or the other about Acolyte.
Yeah, definitely.
So what do you think you're making now?
Well, okay. A mess. I'm making a mess. It's really difficult to say because, like, if this is the front and this is the back, then this would be one of those pods, the escape pods.
Are you able to bring this closer so people can see what you're actually doing over here?
Yeah. Yeah.
There you go.
This is our first LEGO Live.
We're still working out the kinks.
Yeah. So that. Okay, cool. Got that.
It seems like we have people popping in and out while we're doing this, but honestly, yeah. Please make sure you comment. Let us know what you think, how we can make a couple changes if we need to make this a little bit better.
What? Okay, there it is. I was missing something. Your eyes can deceive you. Don't trust them. So this is a lot of these little things that they're putting in here are just from the movie lines and scenes and just like reiterating them. They're not like any facts and figures.
Sometimes they are, but apparently not in this case.
Yeah. I think this is supposed to be the scene where Luke is being trained for the first time. Because you've got Obi-Wan in this white, brown, and gray top. And then you've got a white blonde in there. So I think that's what these characters are supposed to be.
So don't forget, you need to be showing over there.
The good thing is when I'm holding it up like this, you can see it on both.
Oh,
okay,
good.
Right in the middle.
Yeah. Or else we'll have nothing to edit.
Correct. Because we're like, for those of you on the live, right over here on this other side, there's another camera. The camera's doing camera things, like cameras do. And that's going to be on another video. We're going to put that on other social media platforms. Ones that don't like us talking about these sorts of things.
So I don't know if you guys know, if you follow me on our other social media channels, you know we do speed up builds. And it's usually me doing like a lot of Harry Potter and him doing a lot of like Star Wars or Minecraft or things like that. So I don't think he's used to building while doing other things.
No,
I am. I'm used to it.
Yeah, and typically you'll be watching stuff on the side.
Yeah, I will be. Either I'll be watching the movie that like kind of corresponds to the set that I'm doing, or mostly to get like a reference for what are these details that they're putting in the set. Or sometimes I'm just watching whatever TV show I'm watching at the time, which right now, on my own, I'm doing some rewatches. So right now I'm rewatching Walking Dead, which is taking me quite a while. And I'm rewatching The Closer, which I haven't watched since it came out. And I actually really like it. It's a very calm procedural. And it's kind of funny that I'm watching that because as a group, him and my husband were all watching The Rookie. And then my husband and I, he's already seen it, but we're watching Suits. So it's kind of like a very big procedural thing, which is not our norm. We don't normally watch those types of shows, which is kind of interesting right now. It just had a lull. We have to wait for the fall TV to start up.
Yeah. It was just not enough to watch.
Or stuff that there is, I get bored.
Okay, so now we've got the other arm. So this is definitely like looking like the escape pods on the side, docking bays on the side, but like we are still going on this.
Well, 2 of 11.
If you're just joining us, you're going to be here a while.
If Marshall doesn't build faster, yes.
I'm trying, all right.
And update, these are actually very good, and I almost can't stop eating them.
The other reason why I have to build faster.
You have to what?
The other reason why I have to build faster.
Yeah, so I don't finish them all. I wasn't sure what to expect, honestly. But I saw these, I try to do popcorn videos, and I'm running out of popcorn to do on my channels. And I found some from Target, and then I also found these, and I was like, okay, well, we could try this as well. But honestly, the graham cracker ones are quite good, honestly. I didn't really think it would be. But also, I didn't eat lunch, so I'm kind of hungry, which is probably why I'm eating those.
So where am I putting these? Okay, so we got those there. We've got this here. Like, we've had Legos in our lives for pretty much the entirety of our lives.
That's true.
But, like...
He used to get them a lot when he was growing up. When we were growing up, sets like this weren't really that much of a thing. Not themed sets. It was mostly like other different kinds of sets, like very generic. And I remember that if he was very good at building creatively, like off the cuff, really like building things with his imagination. Me, on the other hand, that wasn't quite me. I was more of like I would try to build a phone every time. I don't know why I would, but I would. Just
so you could call somebody up and be like, hey, look what I built. Actually, there's another guy
right here
who has been doing that. He's a master builder on TikTok. He actually works for Lego company, and he has built every form of communication as a Lego box. So he has built a cell phone in every single form of cell phone, including a clear phone. He has built a signal fire. I feel like this is a little bit bigger of a bag than I was expecting. There's a lot more going on in here than...
To bring it all together?
Yeah.
I don't really know why either.
And
that's exactly what I do when I start building.
Okay, so then we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side.
So while you're doing this, here's a question. I know we're live, and if you are tuning in after we're live, you're going to get this technical question I'm just going to ask him right now. So if you notice between the social media camera and the YouTube camera, the social media camera isn't really getting that much, and the battery's about to die.
Yeah, it is.
can you take this, edit it down, and just have it be horizontal in the middle of the YouTube or the middle of the social media one?
Yeah, I could totally edit this down, especially
It's a really good.
And not only that, I can just sit there and like cut between people who are talking when I need to.
There you go.
It's really easy to just move things around.
So what you're saying is we could just totally not have to do that camera and just use that one?
Kind of. I also don't really like the angle of that camera.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just kind of stinky. For those of you on the live, you don't get to see it.
Thank you for bearing with us as we're still working out these kinks.
Kinky.
He is almost done with this bag. I can tell by the amount of things.
Yeah.
So tell me how you feel about the complexity of this build so far.
I have no idea yet because I've been building so many complicated things. But I don't know how they're all supposed to put together just yet. I don't even know what I'm looking at. So, yes, actually, you know what? I'm just going to say it's really complicated.
But still fun.
Yes. And this is going here? I think. Yes, this is going here.
Yes, it is.
It is the there, and I don't think we have a choice anymore in this matter. I can't look ahead on this set yet. Like I can't see where it's going.
Yeah, I can't either unless if this is also the center part, maybe.
This is definitely the center, and so this is the back disc, I think. Or maybe this is where the mandible's attached. So this could be the front.
Okay.
And now just throw all these things on here.
The extra ones can go in here.
Which is this. All right, your bag.
Now we're into bag number 3, and Marshall's gonna tell you some more things.
First, I'm going to put a little.
Oh no, I feel a sneeze coming on.
Here. Gonna get some fluids in me. Come on, open it up. There we go. So not only does it have the fastest hyperdrive, this ship has a bunch of like overdrive stuff added on. So when it's not like flying at light speed, it's faster than just about everything else. So like the other fastest ships in the galaxy when we're not going at light speed is like the A-Wing. It's faster than an A-Wing.
So when he says stuff like, he makes the Corellian run in however many parsecs he runs it in, that was a feat. Yes?
Actually, the Kessel run is a big feat, but for a different reason. And for the longest time, that was a big joke in the community. Like, he ran the Kessel run in 12 parsecs. 12 parsecs isn't a measure of time. It's a measure of distance. What are you even talking about? So in the Solo movie, they fixed a lot of things about the canon of the Millennium Falcon. So the Kessel run is trying to get a whole bunch of drugs off of Kessel in this huge maelstrom while the Imperial ships are in the area trying to catch you. And in actuality, what the distance was how long it took for you to get out of the maelstrom. How long of a distance it took you to get through this crazy path without getting caught. Having done so in 12 parsecs means that you actually have the best navigation, not the fastest ship. You're just really good at getting around this chaotic maelstrom.
That makes more sense then, I guess.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that Solo did, when we first watch in A New Hope, the original movie, we see the Millennium Falcon has 3 landing gear feet, But then when we go into The Empire Strikes Back, it has 5, and there was never any explanation as to why it suddenly sprouted more feet. But when we see it in Solo, it starts with 5, and they crash it a few times, taking off 2 of the feet. So he never replaced those 2 landing gear feet until he was back with the Rebellion. That's showing like how it's grown and changed over the years. In fact, he's done a lot of things to this ship. Han did the most changes to at least the exterior of the ship. Because, and we never actually see this in a show. I think they did it in a comic once, but he went to a junkyard that had a whole bunch of Imperial ships on it and just tore all those ships apart and bolted them onto the Millennium Falcon. So when we first saw it in Solo, it was kind of a pretty looking ship. And now everybody's like, this is a hunk of junk, because he took a whole bunch of Imperial cruiser hulls, all of this extra armor, and just bolted it onto the outside. So that's why it looks like it's garbage. It's super armored. And he also like upgraded all of the weapon systems to the point that when Lando saw it again, he's like, what are you guys even doing out there that you need this much firepower? This thing is insane. They added missile launchers to the front of the thing that I've never seen them use. The 2 guns that you see on the top and the bottom were never there in the original build of the ship. They added those too. And those were also from Imperial ships. So they're like super powered and long range.
So you would say that the Millennium Falcon was more like Han being like, I'm going to pimp my ride.
Very much so. Like I said, this is kind of like the Honda. It's the Honda Civic of spaceships. They did so much aftermarket alterations to this thing. And there's a lot of people taking pride in how much they've done to it. Like, that's half the reason you get one, is just to trick it out and see what you can do with it. And I think he did the most. Too bad it's ugly now.
It was bye-bye, right? What did we see happen to it at the end?
Oh, no, it's still around. It continued going after even the sequel trilogy. It's not been destroyed.
Who has it now?
Rey. Rey has it. She flew it over to Tatooine and made her own home there. So that's just her ship.
Okay.
I don't know what Rey is doing after the whole Star Wars being over thing. We don't know what's going on after Rey, honestly. Like, that's a whole era. I don't know if we're ever going to see. I think that's just going to be the end of it. Unless, of course, they decide they're going to bring more Legend stuff in. And there's a whole other war that the books had that we've never seen. Yep, there went the other camera. But you're live, and you're still alive. Stay with us. I'm saying this to no one at this point.
There was someone in there a little while ago.
But I will be saying this to a lot of people later on. You, who are not live, but are still alive, I salute you. Sip.
He's very dramatic.
Yes. So how do you feel about this build so far?
I don't have a frame of reference right now.
It's like you really don't know what you're doing, even if you do know what you're doing.
No, I really don't. Like, I'm looking at the picture of it on the box, and I can't figure out this part that I'm doing right now where it even corresponds.
Oh, I can kind of see it. Yeah. Yeah. Like this. Yeah. This is definitely this is the areas that are the docking rings that are off on the left and right side. And you're building the top of them right now. I can see the angle
right here.
pieces. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And those are the docking rings themselves.
All right, so we're gonna put these, and I'm gonna snick it together here, and you can show the camera what they look like once I get this in. Okay, go ahead and show them what that looks like.
It's kind of the blurry, but you know what? It's okay.
And these are just gonna go on either side. Maybe. There we go.
Yay. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Okay. Since we don't have anybody on there, do you want to see if I can just speed this portion up?
What do you mean speed it up?
And like nobody talk, we just speed through until we see somebody come in and...
Oh, you don't need to.
Okay, cool.
Although if you could grab me like Kleenex over there, I don't know.
Yeah, we could both use a snotty break.
We're getting over colds and allergies and stuff.
We don't even know what this thing was. It took both of us almost down for a week.
And I kept testing negative.
So it's not the vid for either of us, I don't think.
No. Although I did go back to Hogwarts, and a couple people did test positive after doing that. So we're not really sure. I mean, I never got it.
Yeah.
Did you?
No problem.
All right. Continue.
Okay.
Tell me more facts.
See, okay. We were talking about how Star Princess actually works for her. Not only because ships typically are referred to as a she, but because there's a whole bunch of brains inside the Millennium Falcon's computer, and they all have something in common. So the main computer on the ship was a Superflow 4, and that's what was originally installed in there. And they also had another nav computer that was added on there. A previous owner that we don't know took a transport droid named V5T and put its brain inside the computer. And this was very helpful because this was supposed to be a transport ship. This was supposed to be a big old cargo hauler. So when you look at those mandibles up on the front of it that have the big old gap, cargo containers were supposed to be stuck in there, and this thing would fly and push it from behind. So it made sense to put a cargo loading droid into the brain of this ship. Then some other person got a hold of it and put another droid brain in there named ED4. And ED4 was a hacker. So it specialized in getting into other computer systems.
I'm on the wrong side.
Oh, unfortunate.
You can keep going.
Then when we go into the Solo movie, we actually see as Lando takes his droid friend, L337, and save her life by putting her brain into the Millennium Falcon. And there was some scenes in the novelization where you can see her talking to the other two brains as all three of them kind of merge together and share their thoughts and their skill sets and become what's known as the Millennium Collective. All three of those personalities were female. So in the truest sense of the word, the Millennium Falcon's personality is female. And Star Princess totally fits her.
Would you say that the Millennium Falcon is actually the most famous ship in the universe?
In its universe, it is probably is one of the most famous ships in Star Wars universe. Just especially when you get into the sequel trilogy, at that point, everybody knows about it. because of what it did during the rebellion. In our universe, it's up there with Enterprise. It and Enterprise are probably neck and neck.
That would make sense.
I would say. Like, what is your favorite starship in all of fandom? Tell us now, or forever hold your peace. This is a marriage. You have to choose now.
We're in voting season, so you know that's kind of what's happening there.
Yeah. It seems like a couple of these just don't want to fit in, do they?
They kind of don't. No. We're getting closer to the end of bag 3, and where I will take a bathroom break, and he will continue on bag 4. And you have to hold it down by yourself.
Somehow. I'm just going to ramble, but I'm going to do it. I'm excited. Like, what are we getting at here? What is it? I think, is that supposed to be? We haven't gotten to see what that is yet. Let's see what else we've got in here. I have a whole bunch of stuff on Lando's droid, though. So when we get to that, you might want to be reading through that because she's got her own story. And I actually like her story. That's something that Star Wars does very interestingly. It has these robots and droids that are technically not living beings, but they're treated as people. And I like that. Guess what, folks?
Bag 4.
You're stuck with just me now.
There you go. I'll return. Make sure you keep that in the center.
Okay. Okay, bag 4 doesn't seem like it's got a whole lot of stuff going on in it. But I think we're going to get surprised. Got big old piece going on here. A little bit of that action. I got that in the wrong spot. There we go. Now, earlier I had mentioned that, like, the Star Wars franchise had kind of caved in when it came to peer pressure from the fandom community. And this happened actually after Phantom Menace, which is not one of my favorites. But one of the things that Lucas was planning on doing was actually making Jar Jar Binks Darth Sidious. Not Darth Sidious, Darth Plagueis. So he was actually Palpatine's master. And you can see, if you watch through, there is a lot of little hidden scenes where Jar Jar is doing a bunch of Jedi stuff. He's doing leaps that normal people cannot do. But also, he is standing behind some people and saying things without saying them. And then the other person goes and says them. So he's Jedi mind tricking people in the background, and if you really pay attention. But it turned out that everybody hated Jar Jar Binks so much that he downplayed the character much more in the rest of the trilogy. And I honestly think that Darth Jar Jar being a thing would have just been chef's kiss. I think it was a missed opportunity to take a character that we all pretty much hated and make him actually kind of liked. Because wow, yeah, that would have really changed things. We were having a great conversation while you were gone.
Are you? What about?
But you missed. It was about Jar Jar Binks.
Where do you fall on the whole Jar Jar Binks situation?
I think he could have been more. What he became because of fear, effectively, really neutered him as a character. He could have actually been amazing.
So one thing I want to show you while he's putting that part together is you can see on the front here, there is a little window. Looks a lot like, are those TIE fighters? What are those?
Yeah, it kind of looks like a TIE fighter window. I think that's actually supposed to be the turret windows for the guns.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's on the top there.
Okay, we've got this. This is a fun little cobbled together bit with a whole bunch of little. I like that. That's good texture. Good feeling of texture.
So if you could meet anyone from the Star Wars universe and spend time with, who would it be?
Oh, Yoda, I think. I'm going to be honest, like, there's so much wisdom there. But you could also sit there and be like, dude, like, why? Why did you do these things? Because it was ultimately down to him treating Anakin in certain ways that doomed the galaxy in a way. If he hadn't treated Anakin the way that he did, things would have turned out a lot different.
That is true. Hindsight, 2020.
Yeah.
I think for me, it's a toss-up between Leia and Ahsoka, just because of what you see them go through and like the type of people they are. I think with Leia, especially when we saw the Obi-Wan TV series, and we saw where Leia went after she was given to the governor. Is that who it was? I can't remember what his name is. The senator. And became like the senator's daughter and everything, like how she became, and then how she became Leia, the princess, is kind of an interesting story to me. But also the whole Ahsoka storyline, how she was a Jedi and then she kind of got lost for a while and is still trying to find her way back. I really love that character as well.
Honestly, like, it's so amazing how Ahsoka went from not even being a thing. Like, she was not part of any of the story until long after they finished, in a way.
So this is really weird, is I'm looking at the picture, and I think something might be a little wonky. So can I see this real quick?
Hi, Beth.
So you're on 97, 98. Okay, so like, so see how this is pointing towards the back end? You put this on wrong. See? This part goes on the front.
That's why. There we go. Thanks for catching that.
That is the other thing about having two people doing the same build, is that if one person makes a mistake,
the other person can catch them.
And what if they don't? Then you're kind of messed up there, right?
Yeah. There we go.
Okay, do you need to see the picture again? Or?
It just clips on. There. I just literally got it on the wrong side.
That's better. Here you go. Yeah, because I was looking at the picture on the back of the box to see where it is. So now it is correct. This is actually going to go out towards the front of the ship, right here, with the two little thingers are going to go right here, and then the round part is going to go back here. He's going fast. We're almost done with bag 4. In the comments, put what character you would most like to meet in the Star Wars universe and why. Why would you want to meet these people? You can also kind of put in like your favorite TV show, movie of those. If it kind of corresponds to your favorite character, let us know. So tell me, Marshall, are you a Star Trek or Star Wars? Where do you fall in that? Or are you middle line? Or are you going to like a little to one side than the other?
Okay, so the thing is, with Star Wars, I like the universe better. With Star Trek, I like the characters better. So there's things that I like about each, but then you've got Stargate, which I'm
not even gonna go there.
I like both in that one. So it's that's kind of. I know not everybody's up for that, and we still don't have a Stargate Lego set.
Maybe you should try to submit that thing.
They've done that. Somebody has put it in as a submission.
Okay.
The SG command, but we haven't seen them act on it yet.
Okay. So just to let you know, we are at the 1 hour mark, but we're not quite at the middle of the bags.
Nope.
This one's going too slow.
Sorry.
I think it's also a practice thing. Like for me, I've kind of taught myself how to do it a little faster. And again, like we say, I'm used to doing multitasking of building and doing other things, whereas he's not. But he is almost done with bag 4. And then we're going to go back to more facts that he has collected.
Well, and this is the bottom. But at the same time, these were put on upside down.
Oh, see, that was my mistake. I did it wrong. So I will be doing bag 5 in a minute. There are not as many pieces of bag 5, so it should go very fast. So it's very hot in this room.
It has been.
Just thought I'd bring that up. It's very hot.
Could you pull that out?
Nope.
Nope. Now I can.
That's why you use the top part of your brick thing. There's like a little, in case you were wondering, this little part right here on the top of your brick, it's for getting out those pieces that are long or whatever.
The connector pieces, yeah.
Yeah.
There, finally.
Fascinating. This is fascinating.
I know. Now, what I like about this is that they've even given texture to the bottom, even though the top came off. This is the fiddly bit, trying to get these two portions connected.
And there's like a little ball in the middle of it that snaps together too, so that
it kind of holds it in an angled form.
Interesting.
Whew.
So is this the top then?
This is the top, that's the bottom underneath.
Okay.
And now it's up to you.
Bag 5 and more facts.
More fun facts. Okay. We're going on a brains.
Let me crinkle first.
Crinkle. So as I mentioned before, there's 3 different brains going in there. And when we watch in the Han Solo movie, they put the third of those brains, and that's L337, who is not Lando's droid. He has never once stated that he owns her. He, in fact, refuses to state that he owns her because that would make her very, very angry. We watch in the movie as she's like, droid resistance, droids need to have rights, trying to throw off all of the slavery. And like, it seems like there's a lot more story going on with her, and that's because there is. When she first started her life, she was an R3. So kind of like R2, she was just a little astromech that would go around on wheels and would help people navigate. That's what she was designed for. But her owner left her restraining bolt turned off after doing some maintenance to her, and she was just left alone inside of a maintenance shed with a whole bunch of other droid parts. So she's like, I'm free now. I'm going to build myself a better body. And so this kind of janky humanoid body that we see her walking around with through most of the story, that was something she built herself from protocol droids and espionage droids that were just kind of left lying around inside this shed. So this is very much a work of love, but she's also like added on, and now she's a hacker as well. And it says, like, some of the stuff that I found, there was actually one part where she and Londo went to a bar, and she noticed that the bar owner had taken a droid, taken its brain out, and stuck it underneath the bar to just serve as his translator, so he wouldn't have to learn all these other alien languages. And when she found out, she was mad. Like, she nearly beat the guy to death. But then she got him to agree to, like, treat it better and eventually build a body for it. And so she kept on coming back over time, bringing parts that she found so that this droid could rebuild itself. And that led to a really good relationship between her. And actually, she and the bar owner kind of mended their relationship through that, which is kind of interesting. I liked her character. Do you remember that droid out of the solo?
I do not. No.
Like, she had so much personality. Like, she just kind of...
Oh, so it was a Lando's droid?
Lando's droid friend, who, like, they almost had a romantic relationship, but they both were like, no, I wouldn't be with them. But, like,
okay,
kind of were.
Okay.
It was a really funny, like, interaction between the two of them. So she was like his Chewie.
Okay.
And she just, I think I actually liked her personality so much because of how she was constantly fighting for droid rights, which is something that up until this point we hadn't even heard somebody thinking about.
Right.
Like, we're always just used to the droids being, oh, they're slave labor, whatever. But thinking of them as sentient beings, as living beings, was kind of odd, and I liked it. Sci-fi settings don't typically end up doing that with droids. They typically just keep on using them as slave labor, or it's Data out of Star Trek.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you a little detail here. You can tell me what it is. It looks like it's basically the engine stuff. I don't know if you can hold that closer.
Yeah, this is the cooling system, I think, for the engines. So we're going to be building onto this back portion here now. But it looks like you've also got a mandible over here, which is weird.
Yeah, not sure where that's going.
Oh wait, no, yeah, you can see it right there. This is what you're building. So that is one of the mandibles.
Oh yeah, so it's going to be pretty much going like right up here or right up here. Probably we'll do this twice, which means you'll probably get to do it.
Yeah, but it also looks like they're doing it slightly. No, both sides are going to be identical. So hopefully we'll be able to move faster on that. So when we saw this at Costco, you were like, yeah, let's do that. Let's get that. Do you have any particular love of the Falcon yourself, or is it just like, oh, it's Star Wars. It's cool.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I like the ship a lot, and especially when you ride Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Disney. It's a cool ride. I like being inside. Like when you get to the part where you're in the cockpit, kind of like the area where the game system is.
Yeah. That
part's really cool to me. So I think that was kind of why I want to do it. But also I think that this ship has always been like one of those that you see on LEGO and it's like this big and it costs like $500. And I've always kind of eyeballed it to say, hey, I would like this. So when they came out with a cheaper version, I was more excited about that.
Gotcha.
But in general, this is not necessarily a build that I'm like geeking out over or anything. I just am kind of okay with it. You know, it's something fun that we're doing, and I think it probably is more your thing than...
Yeah, it definitely is. Okay. Oh, you had said something there that kind of... Oh, yeah. Galaxy's Edge. So you can, if you go to Hollywood Studios, you go to Galaxy's Edge, you can fly in the Millennium Falcon in what's called Smuggler's Run. But I found out there's actually a place in the timeline that this is supposed to be happening. That Galaxy's Edge in its entirety is supposed to be taking place between The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. So in between 8 and 9 in the movies. That's when everything is taking place. So canonically at that point, they're just kind of, Han Solo's dead. So Chewie's like, I need some money. Let's loan out the Falcon.
And that's why that one dude is in there. I can't remember his name.
Hondo Ohnaka, who is also one of the few characters who's been through the entire series. Like, he hasn't shown up in any of the movies, but he's shown up in all of the cartoon shows almost. We see him in the Clone Wars because he's a pirate in the Clone Wars that slowly just becomes a legitimate businessman. He's almost like Quark out of DS9.
Mm-mm.
You don't remember that one?
I don't.
So going back with our being raised with Star Trek, we were raised with Star Trek The Next Generation and the original series. My mother had the entire original series, and we were watching Next Generation as we grew up, like as it was coming out. So DS9 was not on your radar, really.
No, I think at that point I was kind of phasing out. I was in high school, maybe even college at that point, and I was not as into it at that point. Yeah.
Yeah, like it was definitely changed after Next Generation, and like in some cases, DS9 it was definitely for the better. I think the characters in that were amazing, but I was not as much for Voyager, so I don't know. But Hondo Ohnaka was definitely like, he's a roguish kind of businessman trying to be legitimate, but like, he's shady. He does all sorts of stuff he shouldn't be doing.
Sorry, I'm now at the point where I have to think about what I'm doing a little bit. So let me do it the way the picture is. This goes this way. But that's not right. So it kind of goes right in here. Okay. Okay, I got it.
Woo! That was weird.
That was a weird place for it to go, yeah.
Like, it almost feels like it shouldn't connect properly, but because you're going to probably be putting something right there, it'll kind of hold it together from the top.
Let's see. I might need another Kleenex.
Bing! I came prepared.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've not actually been too much for sci-fi throughout your life, have you? You've been a little bit more for like drama, correct? Like, you need to have characters to connect with.
Yes. I think yes, that is definitely more my MO. I like Star Trek. For the same reason that you say you do, because it's all about the characters. And for me, that is definitely true. If the characters aren't totally great, then I'm not going to have an interest in it. And I think that with Star Wars, when you think about when you start out, the characters themselves, you've got one that's like a cocky guy, you've got one that's a whiny guy, you've got basically Leia, and you've got some droids, and so it's very hard to invest
Definitely.
In it.
Definitely. No, really, like, Luke is not actually a protagonist I enjoy. Until you get into like the shows, I don't really get into a lot of the characters. But Ahsoka and The Mandalorian, they have some really good characters, as well as the cartoon shows. And unfortunately, Laney doesn't do cartoon shows very well because of her hearing difficulties. She can't really hear everything that they're saying and match it with their lips very easily. So,
I mean, I can use captioning, but like, it's just not as enjoyable for me.
So the Clone Wars cartoon, the Rebels cartoon, when we got into Ahsoka, we actually had to explain quite a bit like who these characters actually were because she hadn't seen anything with them in it before. Even though as soon as Ahsoka came into the Clone Wars, people were all about that. Like,
so this is where we are finishing after 5. You can see we're starting the front of the 2 prongs right here. And a lot of those little pieces that I had fit on the top of this thing. It was kind of a very strange way to build it, in my opinion. Not that I'm a master, I don't really know, but like I wasn't really sure what was happening when I was doing it. So now it is your turn. I'm probably going to start building the other part of it.
yeah. Let's see how fast I can get through this.
Well, you were watching me, so you should be...
If I'm doing the same thing, I'm not sure.
It looks like you are.
Yeah,
I can
it
see
looks
a
like
lot
I am, yeah.
of the same pieces.
Yeah.
You have a lot of plastic on the floor right now.
Yeah. Let the plastic hit the floor. Is this correct? Is this the right size piece? It is not. It is not. Is it? That's what I wanted.
So if you could put together any other Star Wars ship, because obviously this is 25 years of LEGO Star Wars, and it's part of the Starship collection, what other ship would you want to put together?
The Razor Crest.
Oh, right, the one from
The
Mandalorian.
Yeah.
But that one is also quite pricey.
Yeah. But the one that I see out there is it's the one that is full, like inside it has all the stuff inside there.
Mm-hmm.
So that's come on. Yeah. That's gonna be the one that's gonna be pricey, most definitely. Nope, wrong one. No, definitely the right one. You just got to turn it the other way around. There we go. Okay.
Yeah, he's doing the exact same thing, it looks like, as this part right here to put on this side, which will then be the front part, and of course we're going to have the round part here. One of the things we want to start doing with this whole series that where we're building, obviously we're still going to be doing Harry Potter Legos for sure, and I think one of our next ones is actually a huge build, and we will be doing it concurrently. So I will be doing half and he will be doing half. We will give you some details and facts about it as we're going, but it's going to kind of be a joint effort as well. Just
yeah, it definitely
concurrently
will be.
happening because it's huge. I'm looking at it over there. The box is like this big. We won't tell you what it is until later, but it is a highly anticipated. When we saw that it was coming out,
We had to. We absolutely had to.
it is one of those musts. So like last year, so let's talk about like must pieces that I have, because you guys are probably not really familiar with what I do actually have in my house. So some of the bigger pieces is last year I ended up getting the Home Alone house, and I loved that house. It's actually been up all year round. Up in the top of like our living room, we have like a big set where we have DVDs, but then on top is all Legos. So I have that one, and then I have the Hocus Pocus house, and then I also have the Friends apartment, both of them, and then Central Park, and also the office. And so all of those are up front. I also have the Stranger Things house, Joyce's house, That's in a different spot in our dining room. My plan is to put like all the Harry Potter stuff like in our living room, and then put all of the other things in the dining room, because we will be constantly building out the Harry Potter stuff. As far as the Star Wars stuff, and that's the stuff that he is basically accumulating all the smaller sets right now. Where do those go? Just asking.
They've well, I have been using them as a background right behind me when I'm doing the builds on my desk. But they've been very haphazardly trying to find a home for themselves in my room. Not very well either.
Yeah, I feel like, especially because we rent, I feel like if we didn't rent, we would have better ability to find display solutions for these things. And, you know, to be honest, we were really big into Funkos for a long time. And I know that at some point, we're probably going to end up moving away from Funkos and more towards the Legos, and the Funkos will probably end up getting sold off. But that's just because of space for us. We just don't have a lot of space. And the Legos are, yes, they're an investment, but when we say that when you buy a Lego set, it increases in value, that is absolutely true. This, while it could be an expensive habit, is also, you know, akin to like collecting things that could be worth more in the future.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind.
Definitely.
That's a thing. I'm trying to give him time to build as I talk.
Yeah, just so I can catch up. And now there's... Oh, okay. I got you now.
I would say this is actually one of the more complicated builds that I've done, in just the fact that there are very strange pieces that you don't actually know how they all, I mean, you know how they fit together, but you don't know how they fit into the whole. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All the ones I do, like all the Harry Potter ones I do and the other themed ones, I feel like you're pretty sure you know exactly what you're building.
Yeah. You just don't know what this is actually, what part of it is actually being done.
Mm-hmm.
And what the logic behind it is that makes it so that you can, like, predict it.
Says, do you get the, what does that say? Oh, it went away.
Yeah, we lost that.
We lost your comment. Unfortunately, it went away.
It's sorry. If you want to comment again, now that we're actually paying attention, we totally missed that. Sorry. Your comments are important to us.
They are.
Okay,
there it is.
Do you get the ship satellite dish? Yes, the satellite dish will be coming in, and when we get to it, I have some facts about that too, because that's got a story to it. Surprisingly enough.
The way that the sun is like glaring off the phone, I can't even read that.
Yeah. Okay, so this is like this, and then like this, and that goes...
He's getting there. See, the way that it fits on there by these like really two small studs. And so trying to figure out how they fit together, basically he's doing this part and this part right here. They fit together in a very strange way.
Yes, they do. And we are now in a very different section of the build, I think. Okay, so this is going to be...
That's the part that's going to go on the top, and it's going to fit on this part right here.
Great. That piece good there.
Speed build.
Speeding. I'm going to get a ticket. Okay.
Yeah, so now you're going to be doing the stuff to attach it, it looks like.
Yeah. To kind of give it the front edge.
Mm-hmm. This is also not one of those that I feel like you can bring up right so that you can actually see what's happening. Like, especially when I'm going to be building like a building, it's a lot easier for the people on camera to see.
Yeah, exactly.
What is happening. This is like a flat.
Yeah, it's super flat. And clip, clop. Wing is done, or mandible is done. And now we got to get this slotted in just so.
You're good. And then that one goes, yeah.
Ooh. So we're probably going to have to build this for this side coming up pretty soon.
Which is very strange because in my bag, I had all of that, and in his bag, no.
Because this is where the cockpit comes off.
Oh, gotcha. It's a little bit different. Okay. So now we're going into bag 7.
We're going to and you know, I don't think that we're going to get to the satellite dish on this portion of the build, but I do have some facts about that. And you can kind of see it a little bit here. You can see a satellite dish in there, but this is the round satellite dish that we see with through most of the series. And it didn't always have that. In fact, it's had 5 different dishes throughout the entire time of its life. I got the data here. Okay, the Falcon has had 5 different sensor dishes. The first one was torn off before we even met it in in the Revenge of the Sith. It had had one collision with another cargo vessel, and that tore off its first sensor dish. So they replaced that. Then when we get into Solo, the movie, Han crashes it again, taking off another satellite dish. And he then replaced it. When he did all those crazy modifications in the junkyard, he had taken one of these other military-grade satellite dishes. It's called a rectenna, but that's a weird word. And he put that rectenna on there instead. So it was a much more higher-powered sensor suite. It could see much further out, which works very well for the Millennium Falcon's better navigational system. And then when he had knocked off the first sensor dish, Lando was mad. So it's only fitting that as soon as Lando gets his hands on it again in Return of the Jedi, he bonks it. You know your onions when it comes out to the Falcon? What? Did you say you know it's onions when it comes to the Falcon? I could not read that. This is the downside of having it on a phone and having it that far away.
That is true.
And I can't bring it up on my phone because then our really low-grade internet is just going to crap the whole thing out. So I tried, but yeah, this is all over the place as a build. I think that might be what they're trying to get at. This is a really all over the place build. So in Return of the Jedi, Lando bonks the top of the ship. You know onions is a phrase. Okay, what does you know onions mean? I think it means good things, but I've never heard that phrase before. I'm interested. Linguistics. You have intrigued me. Do not leave me lying and wondering what's going to happen next. I want to know about these onions. Is there layers?
It reminds me of Shrek.
Uh-huh. To know your onions means your knowledgeable about something. Thank you. I wish I could take a lot more credit for this, but I got most of this information from Wikipedia. Well, not Wikipedia, from Wookieepedia, the Star Wars wiki. And you can go back and forth through a whole bunch of different things there. But also there's another creator called Generation Tech, who is a really fun creator here on YouTube. He does a lot of facts and figures about Star Wars, but he does it as if he's part of the universe already, which is really fun. But the thing is, Lando didn't just knock off that one. There's more that went on after that. So what he did when that got bonked off is they replaced it with another Rectenna dish from the very beginning. Thank you, actually. I do appreciate the fact that you put those in all caps so I could read them. It actually did make it a lot easier to read. I understood you, believe it or not. When Lando knocked off that Rectenna dish, they replaced it with the same one that would normally have been on the YT-1300. So he's like, yeah, it's back to the way it used to be, back before you destroyed it for me. So it was like payback almost for what Han did during the Solo movie.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's the Rectenna dish that we see it with during The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi.
So can you explain to me what the Rectenna dish is?
It's basically a sensor dish. It's a rectifying antenna is what it means, but it's basically just sending out signals and receiving them to see what's out there in the universe. Mm-hmm. And the better your Rectenna dish is, the further out you can see, which is better for your navigation because you don't want to skip into a star or an asteroid field while you're doing hyperspace.
So what we're building now, it looks like, is the base, the thing that the ship is going to sit on. I think that's what we're building right now.
That looks like what we're building, but that is a really weird time to be doing it. Like, I would expect that if I was designing these, I would have made that either the first or the last.
Yeah, it's really strange.
But whatevs. Maybe they're making it this way so that, like, when we're putting the remainder of the things together, it'll be a little bit easier.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. So the thing is, the one that Lando put on afterwards that we see in those in 7 and 8, yes, it does have a stand. We're building that right now. In 7 and 8, we see this rectangular Rectenna dish, but that gets knocked off as well during number 8. So then when we go into the final movie, number 9, they replaced it yet again with our 5th and final dish, which is back to that circular Rectenna dish, but it is a newest one. It's like the highest line that they could have. So like it just kept on getting knocked off and getting better and better over time. Just kind of like the ship. Like it keeps on getting knocked around, but it just comes back better. In a way. Whew. That is a lot of breathing I needed to do.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now it doesn't stand up anymore.
Odd.
I'm sure there's going to be more to it. In fact, I'm sure that like one of your bags is probably going to be
completing the base.
Yeah, more than likely.
It's just the bases that they make for these are sometimes really weird. When I did the Hedwig set, it had it's bound to get knocked off because it's standing proud from the ship. Yeah. Yeah, and I think this stand is actually supposed to be holding the ship at an angle.
Right.
Or maybe even be able to choose your angle, which would be kind of nice. But when I did the Hedwig set, that base had a little like dial on it so you could make it flap its wings, and that base was so fiddly. Like, I could barely ever make it work, and it would always just come flying apart.
I remember this.
It was not fun.
It was not fun.
I really liked the Hedwig set, just because you could make it flap its wings, but that stand made it almost unusable. We're almost done with your bag.
Almost. Oh, no, all right. Turn it over. One more.
One more.
That was weird. That should have gone on first.
Okay,
All right.
so what we can see with this base is that it holds it at an angle, and then it further holds it up at an angle.
So it actually is telling you to put it on
Oh, through that hole in the middle.
through this hole in the middle.
I think this end, the pointy end here, is supposed to face this docking bay here.
Okay. And then it's saying
Really push it down.
push it down right there. So that's kind of how we are right now. And we're in the bag 8. If I can have another Kleenex, please.
You got it.
Bag 8 and some.
Got a lot of colorful pieces going on here. Greens and blues and reds, oh my.
So you can see what we're doing. Let's move this over here. So you can build right here in the center.
Ooh.
There you go. Can you guys see right here? I'll build right here.
Oop.
So yeah, I do like how it's kind of displayed,
Yeah,
at least a little.
having it on an angled display really does make it.
And do we know where we're putting it? What does it say?
I've got to go now. Good luck with the build. Thank you very much. Thank you for being with us. It has been a pleasure. But that one person isn't alone. There's still some people in here.
Hi,
And
people.
they are amazing peoples for joining us. That's what we need. Right there.
So I'm not exactly sure what we're building now.
Me either.
What part of this we're building.
Okay.
But you're right. There are some fun like blue and pink pieces in this one, in this bag. It's just my luck. I get the boring black pieces.
Yep. The ones that are all the same. Yeah, I don't know, but like most of the time with these colored ones, they kind of hide them inside something. So like you
That's
never
true.
see it in the first.
I mean, when you look at the actual picture, there's all you really see is gray and like spots of red. So I think, well, actually, if you look at the back part, there's some blue right in here along the side, on the outside of the dish. But other than that, there's not a lot of color. So we will have to see where the color actually comes from. Probably inside, like he's saying.
And then it goes in. That does not seem right.
So what type of Lego builder would you say that you are?
I feel like I'm more of the creative type. I'm constantly trying to fill it. Like what you guys haven't seen on any of her channels yet is like I've been building sets by tearing apart the other sets that we've been getting and putting them together in weird ways. So, like, that's kind of where I'm at. Oh, that's how that's supposed to go. Okay. That's how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, I can, like I said before, like, he is much more of like a creative Lego builder, whereas I am more of a, I follow the directions, I do it the way they tell me to do it, and that's it. It's a display piece after that. I don't try to, like, take it apart and do other stuff with it. Just because I don't know if that's the way that my brain really works. It likes to put together the puzzle, and then once the puzzle is done, I'm kind of like, okay, good. On to the next.
Yeah. Whereas I'm constantly trying to figure out things that I can do with it. What could this be done?
Mm-hmm.
And what have I got there? I think also in these bags, they kind of mixed up small pieces and big pieces.
Yeah, the rhyme or reason as to the big bag and the small bag is sometimes not intuitive.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find one particular piece. And I think that's where I'm losing a lot of my time in this build, is hunting the pieces down.
Yeah. My strategy when I do these kind of things is I try to, like, pick the pieces out of the container and then I put them on. Sometimes I do it as I go. It just really depends on how many pieces there are.
Yeah.
So it looks, since he's building that, it looks like the part that he's building right now is the part that's going to come up underneath this part. Yeah, right here. It's going to come up underneath. And then you're probably going to build the cockpit onto it.
Yeah, more than likely. Well, there's one of them.
So I'm going to put this over here so we can actually see what you're doing.
Yeah.
He tends to not clock with the camera is.
Yeah, I'm like laser focused kind of dude.
Right.
And then we've got that guy.
So it's really strange to me when people do lives for, like, a really long period of time. Like, there are some people that I follow that they are doing, like, educational lives, or they're doing a specific task during their lives, and, like, I've seen them go 3-4 hours, and I'm like, I don't have the patience to watch that for that long. Or the time, really. So if you're watching us for, like, 2 hours, you get snaps.
You get bonus points. So yeah, that kind of attached right there. You can see kind of hanging off there.
Do you need this back again now?
And you go. Where do you go? You go like this on here. Oh, we're getting fiddly now, aren't we?
I don't like the fiddling.
And all sorts of little things that are all kind of blending in weird ways.
We got some interesting pieces coming up, like this one, which is definitely the front of the cockpit part.
Yeah, clocked that immediately. That's like, oh, yes, thank you for actually giving us a piece I recognized.
I noticed there are no stickers in this set. That means everything already has the adhesive on it, which is nice because sometimes it really bugs me when you have the stickers and you're trying to, like, put them on the different pieces and they're cockeyed or whatever. Let me know if that also is an annoyance to you.
Yeah, you really want these to be perfectly placed, but your hands just can't do it. Like, you just have to sit there and pull out tweezers or something.
Mm-hmm.
And then this goes on here with the yellow bit. So like while it feels really fiddly, as we go through, we end up making them much more solid and hard to pull apart when we get to the end of it.
Which is good.
Yeah, that's exactly what you want.
Have you seen people like try to move with their really large Lego pieces? And like put it in the back of their car and they wrap it and think like I do not know how people transport their already made Lego stuff. I know that me personally, like I put them in, if I don't really have really large ones, but like I would put them in a Ziploc bag made, and then when I want to bring them out again, I would just have to rebuild them.
Yeah.
To be honest, I don't know that I could. I could transport something that big. If we ever moved, I don't know what we're gonna do. Probably put all our Legos in the car and make one trip with just Legos.
Yeah, or like put them into these bookshelves with some bubble wrap or something.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely building out the cockpit module now, which is good. That's not the piece I need. It just looked like it was. It was lying to me about who it was, and I don't appreciate that.
Sir.
Control. You must learn control.
The piece that looks like he's making is a barbecue grill.
You want to get grilling? Okay, and then we've got...
He's talking underneath his breath. If you can't understand him, he's just...
Yeah, I'm trying.
Speak louder. They want to know your frustration.
I have frustrations. What even is this piece that I'm supposed to be looking at here? Is it
That's
this
what
thing?
I'm wondering.
Okay. And then it's got these little itty bitties. Okay. Followed by that. Huh? Oh, the other way around.
Teamwork.
Dreamwork. Oh wait, that's something else. That's this way. Cool. Oh, now we're into the big stuff here. We need
He's making the cockpit now.
cockpit.
Cockpit. Why can't I say that word today? I don't know why.
We're all living in the cockpit.
Are you?
I guess this is where I am now. And then wait, so this is supposed to go on the underside? And it looks like I missed the... Oh, no, it's right there. Whew! I was like, did I miss a page somewhere in here?
Fiddly. It's fiddly. He's almost done with bag 8.
And we've got 11 total, friends.
We're getting there.
We are. And so this is supposed to dock in there.
Okay. So there you go, right there. The cockpit. And now he's going to put some random pieces on the top of this, I guess.
Yeah. So we've got that right there. Don't know why you guys waited till this point to have me put that on there. It's saying I should have pieces I don't.
Which one?
This should be a 2-brick.
Well, that means we used it wrong. So if you go back here.
But that was actually done, like, that's right there, and that's there. There we are. We found it.
He messed up again.
It happens when I go too fast. I thought it was a little weird that piece didn't stick right. But the good side is, at least it's easy to get at these pieces while we're building it. Okay.
There you go. So, troubleshooting your LEGO builds. Let's talk about that, since that's what just happened. Many times this happens with us where we get a piece or we don't have a piece that we should have. The best way to troubleshoot your build is to go back to the spot where you can find the piece that you're holding in your hand that you're not really sure if you put in correctly, and figure out where it should go and what you put there that it was supposed to go. That's the most roundabout way of troubleshooting that I can tell you. I think for me personally too, if you start going really fast, and this is one of the reasons why my strategy is to take the pieces out of the container and put them in front of me for that step, because then I know that if I am rushing or I didn't see where it's supposed to go and I still have pieces in front of me, that means I did it wrong and I need to go back and do it. So that's another way that I can double check myself. Both of that happened to him in this step.
Yeah. And you know what? I just had the craziest sense of deja vu.
You did?
Oh, yeah. So bad. But with that, we are now done with bag number 8. And bag number 9 is all on you. We still have one little spare guy. Enjoy.
So here's a question for y'all. What do you do with your extra pieces?
Ooh, I have.
I also have a container like that as well, but I just dump the pieces in.
Once we get to the end, like, I think there's going to be a spot where we take it and we put it into our big, huge storage unit. Like, we have a bunch of drawers over here that we've got them somewhat, mostly sorted into. Not sorted the way I would like it sorted.
Right.
Like, I would be sorting them into individual piece types, but I don't think we're going to get there. We just don't have the room to sort it. Like
or the time, really.
No, we really don't. We have things to do.
Many things.
Many of things. We are people of many side gigs.
Many side gigs.
Many side gigs. So it's just, we do not have the time to sort those Legos. So eventually we're going to get these spare pieces dumped in there. But now is not that time. No.
Not that time.
So now we're probably going to be building out the other mandible somehow. Oh no, this is one of the engine units. It looks like.
Do you have more facts?
I have a few more facts if you are interested. If you are not interested, there's always the mute button, but then you miss out on all the clicky, and that's what you were here for in the first place. Okay, so actually I can show you. You've got this glass room that's right here, up in the top. And that's where, like, we're used to seeing them sitting in their gunnery chairs shooting the guns off. But originally, there was no guns there. In the creation of the ship, when they first built the ship in the Corellian shipyards, that was supposed to be an observation deck. So people were just supposed to sit in that chair and stare at the stars as they went past. That's what it was there for. It was not until Han came in and started attaching all of this extra artillery onto it that it became gunnery chairs. So I'm just sitting here marveling at how much technical skill he and Chewie have to have rebuilt these observation decks into guns. and all the other changes that the two of them just did themselves. The only things that got changed under their purview that they did not change themselves was the hyperdrive.
Okay.
And that was changed by a Corellian engineer who knew his stuff. So it's like interesting to note that this thing that was very kind of iconic from the first movie, sitting there with the with all four guns. Most of these ships, even military ships, would have like just dual gun turrets, but he had quadro. Like, why you even going that far? This guy is definitely like more is better, apparently. Excuse me a moment. And Chewbacca is definitely like technically minded. He is very intelligent when it comes to all the engineering of things, and a lot of that comes because his whole shtick is he has built those blasters that you see him with. I keep on forgetting what they're called. Bowcasters. So the bowcaster that Chewbacca carries all the time is a traditional Wookiee weapon, but every single one of them is handmade. And the one that we see him carrying most of the time, he handmade from a stormtrooper blaster. So after the Solo movie, one of those stormtroopers that they must have faced off against, he took their blaster and remodded it into that powerhouse that we see. So like even Solo, like near the end of his life, he shoots the thing. He's like, I like this. Oh my gosh, I could have been shooting this the whole time. But that's just because Chewbacca is so technically minded and so strong there. And seeing his story that we don't even see all of in the movies, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on there. What you might not know is that he wasn't the only one of the species that was being enslaved. When we first see him in Solo, he was in this like pit, and they were just throwing people down there to kill them.
Right.
But the entire Wookiee species had been enslaved by the Empire. He had just been separated off from his family.
You said the Empire?
The Empire.
Okay, so for some reason I thought you said vampires, and I was trying to figure out how that worked.
Oh no! See, like I don't know if there are vampires. Nope, there's definitely vampires. There are vampires in the Star Wars universe.
There are.
There are. But it's legends. We don't actually see them in like the main stories that we've seen so far. So, you know.
Okay, now we're in the fiddly bits.
We're back in the fiddly bits. And this is going to get really fiddly because these are the engine vanes.
Yeah, that scares us away. That's why. I was like, why is it not working? Oh, because I'm doing it the wrong way, apparently. Okay. So yeah, we're getting this part right here in the back.
And that's partly because there's two different sets of canon when we're talking about Star Wars. So what you see in the movies and the TV shows, that is canon. That is definitely something that happened. Everything that has happened in the books that were written since the new trilogy began, those books are part of that canon as well.
Okay.
But in between the creation of the original trilogy and the sequel trilogy, tons of books have come out. He just let anybody pretty much write books and continue on with this universe. And unfortunately, this means that there's a lot of stuff that didn't quite match up. And this is one of the things that divides the community, as a lot of people are like, Legends is everything. Anything that doesn't... That's what the secondary canon is called, Legends.
Okay, and what is the second canon?
The second canon is all these extra books and all these extra comics that came out between the original trilogy and the new trilogy.
Okay.
Okay. So all those books that came out, they kind of got shuffled into these Legends category where it's considered something that you might hear if you went to a cantina somewhere and people are just telling stories. These are the stories you might hear. They're not necessarily true, but they're somewhat based off of things that really did happen. And so when you start seeing some of these legend stories come in, for example, in the Acolyte, cortosis, that metal that his helmet was made out of, was originally thought to just be in Legends, because that's the only place that we saw it. But they brought it back there in a big way, as well as a whole bunch of others.
Okay.
Interesting. It just blinked out and said, "You're live."
We are live. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's like, we're 2 hours into this.
Yeah.
How did you not know we were live yet? YouTube, what you do?
YouTube is drunk.
YouTube, you're drunk. Go home to Google. So a lot of people want to go back to that Legends, and they hate everything about the Disneyverse because it denies the Legends. But the creators of these new shows are constantly trying to reincorporate all of that in different ways to make new stories, to make better stories. So I think that's one of the reasons why I'm okay with all of this new canon. It's just fixing what was broke about the old canon.
Okay.
In my opinion, at least. Other people, they don't believe that way.
All right, we have done the bottom part of this back one here. Still going. Oh,
Click it.
you have to click it. Okay.
And now I bet you're going to build another engine. Oh, you're building the top part of this, I think, now.
Maybe.
You're going all over the place in
All
this
over the
build.
place.
It's kind of nuts. What else I've got going on in here? Hey, what about... I was talking about Chewie's story. That's what I was going on.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
You're also all over the place.
I am. Well, we had to explain Legends. So Chewie's entire race got enslaved by the Empire. And during this time, like, he's going around with Han and doing all of these adventures with the rebellion. His family, he doesn't even know where they are. He has a wife and son. But when we first meet him in Solo, his wife is named... Where is she? Yes. His wife is named Malatabuk, and his son is named Lumpalaroo. It's just called Lumpy. Everybody just calls him Lumpy. Okay?
Lumpy.
You got Chewie and Lumpy and Mala. But so that whole thing when you're seeing Maz Kanata in The Force Awakens calling him her boyfriend, that's a joke. She knows he's married. But because Wookiees are so long-lived, it doesn't necessarily matter to them to be far apart from each other. They know they're going to find each other again eventually.
Okay.
So, like, that's why he wasn't in a rush to go rescue his family, even though he, like that was a driving force for him joining the rebellion. He wanted to bring the Empire down so he could save his family. And when we see, like, after the Return of the Jedi, he temporarily left the rebellion and the Falcon because some of those Imperial holdouts were still in control of his homeworld of Kashyyyk. So he went back with Han and a few other agents to go and rescue his entire race. And he managed to reunite with his family just in time to prevent Lumpy from getting executed. He jumped in just before the Imperial holdouts were going to kill him. And so they were all back together again for like a few years, really. And for reasons unknown, when Solo decided to go and start becoming a smuggler again, he's just like, yeah, sure, I'm down. Yeah, I'll leave my family behind. Who cares? So don't know about that. Again, they're able to be far apart because they're long lived. They're like, we'll see each other again. It's okay. But it was during this time that Chewbacca was on Kashyyyk with his family, just kind of being with them again, that Han didn't have a co-pilot, and the Millennium Falcon does need a co-pilot because the pilot, while they're flying the ship around, there's all these other systems that you have to control. If you go to Galaxy's Edge and do Smuggler's Run, you kind of know what this generally feels like. So you need to have a co-pilot and he got this other guy on. The other guy stole the Millennium Falcon from him. If he didn't lose Chewie, he wouldn't have lost the Falcon. And that was a big part of The Force Awakens, because that guy then sold it to another guy, and that guy just let it rot on a desert planet. What?
All right. We've done this part right here, which means we're probably going to do a top part as well.
Whew. So now that we've had a little bit of time to ruminate on it, how do you feel about those goldfish?
I don't know. Do you want some more?
Yeah, let's go for some more. You guys want some? You're going to have to go get your own, but you want some. Okay. These are a little bit more graham crackery in feel.
Well, yeah, that they are graham crackers and not goldfish crackers.
Yeah. They're just in goldfish shape. Hello Kitty is kind of taking...
Are they? Well, there are some, and then there's some that has Hello Kitty's head.
Oh, in fact, right here. Hiding in among the others. Yeah. Hello Kitty's kind of taking over for some odd reason. Have you noticed that? Like, Hello Kitty is everywhere now.
Yeah, do you think it has to do with how it kind of got a rebirth for Animal Crossing?
Maybe. I mean, Animal Crossing did do a lot of things for a lot of franchises, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it's like the store that I work at, we have like 2 or 3 different sections where Hello Kitty is just completely taken over. I don't get it.
Hello Kitty just has surges. There was a time when I was younger too that Hello Kitty was kind of a big thing again, but I think it kind of like ebbs and flows.
Yeah. When I was in my anime phase in college, there was some anime stores in this mall near my college, and then there was just one store of just Hello Kitty.
Yep, I remember that.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, if you're into that, I guess. That's a lot of Hello Kitty.
She's a little girl.
Yes, she is.
She is not a kitty.
She is not. And the creator not only came out and said that, yes, Hello Kitty is just a girl in a cat costume, but Hello Kitty's boyfriend is also a little girl in a cat costume.
Yes. What is his name? I can't remember.
I do not know. I have never found that out. Well, you know what? Since we're live, let's just look that up. Does this have anything to do with Star Wars, the Millennium Falcon, or Lego? No, this has nothing to do with
it.
That.
It does not.
What is the name of Hello Kitty's boyfriend? Dear Daniel. So Hello Kitty and Dear Daniel. Oh, and Google actually lists Dear Daniel as Hello Kitty's significant other, not as boyfriend. Why? Because Dear Daniel's a girl. And like I told that to my boss one time, and he was weirded out by it. He's like, that's weird. I don't get that. I'm like, have you ever been around kids playing? They play roles.
Yeah.
This is just 2 little girls that are dressing up as cats.
It's true. So on the bottom here, we got the other bottom. So we got 2 bottoms, no tops. That might be coming soonish. He is now on
Bag 10.
bag 10. Make sure you build over here so they can see. Oh, look, that thing.
This thing.
Oh, which we didn't know what it was, but that is obviously going to be the lights on the back.
Oh, that's cool. Hey, get back in there. We have such a mess to clean up when we're done with this.
There's like a pile of plastic
On both of us
on
now.
both sides.
Okay. So we need this and this.
So you're getting hungry?
Not quite yet, but you know, we've been eating these goldfish crackers, so you know, it's okay.
I'm actually getting hungry. We did not have lunch.
We did not. We just jumped right into this and... Oh, okay.
And he's getting distracted.
Yes. Okay. And where they put the pieces in this bag makes no sense.
Oh, I do see where the satellite is going. I do see this, yeah.
Where did you go?
What piece are you looking for?
I'm looking for that piece. There it is. Thank you. Again, this made no sense.
It says, hello.
Hello.
To you too. Hello.
I wave. Okay, we got that, and that is going here. Where here? Oh, we're supposed to do that twice. Thanks for letting me know now.
2 times. There's that whole duplicate thing happening.
Yeah, but this time they waited until the end to say that. Like, normally they do that at the beginning.
Yeah, who knows? I feel like whoever wrote these instructions were kind of random.
They were all over the place, kind of like we are.
A little bit. Mm-hmm.
But at least I know what I'm doing now, so.
Do you?
I do.
Really?
I do. I know where I'm going. I'm going places.
So are you planning on resting for the rest of the afternoon?
Oh, you know, I'm putting out a lot of energy here, and I am going to be crashing. Okay, so these are going here.
Show them where it's going.
I will be. So you see, we put that part right there. So this is the beginning of the engine. And I think our engine pieces are going to be clipping on like that.
Okay.
Haha! Exactly as stated.
So we're going to make the light on the back of the Falcon right there.
They don't quite want to go in.
Don't you have to make it go?
Avoiding a Michael Scott joke there. Give myself a little bit more leverage with the next piece that I actually have to put in there. Ha-ha! Where's the other claw?
Ta-da!
There we go.
It decides who goes on whose stage, you know.
Well, because it's the engine, so like if you get in the ship, the engine does decide if you stay or go.
That is true.
Boom.
So you keep going, and I'm going to show this part. So as you can see, this blue tube thing right here is connected to both parts. And then the bottom part is now brought up. So when we create the top part, these two right here will come together, and then you'll just be able to see that little tube. It's getting there.
Slowly but surely.
So now you're building probably 2. You might as well just do 2 of the same thing that I was doing.
Exactly. Except, oh, there it is. Like, I feel like they're going to do some weird stuff with all the fiddly bits on the top.
We might be, yeah. So you might not want to do that quite yet, but yeah. Because Yeah, it looks like on the back of the box when you look at this part, it is different on the tops of either side. So, yeah. Don't do them exactly the same.
Yeah. It goes. I'll put that on wrong. That goes like that. Go here. No, you do not. Here. Just spread that on it.
He's so quiet now.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's the thing. Like I can't talk and Lego at the same time.
You can do it.
Put your back into it. I just need something to talk about, I guess. I don't know. Like, okay, so
yeah, you do, probably.
Okay, flippity doodad.
So why don't you talk about the next set we're doing after the big one? We're not going to talk about the big one, but what other sets? I know you already purchased one to do, correct?
Yeah, so we've got the Ahsoka Tano and the Battle of Paradea. Oh, we've got a message. Did you guys get the R2-D2 as well? No, we did not. Although we did talk about the droid construction set that came out a while back. And that was kind of fun. Because you got to build not only a bunch of different droids, but you could like give them different hats.
Right. He's really into like the smaller, like almost like a not really diorama sets, but yeah, kind of. Last Christmas I got the Millennium Falcon holiday diorama, which we'll be bringing out again this year.
Yeah, that was fun. Like those little dioramas, those little scenes are so fun, and I would like to actually put them all together in ways, but like, we gotta get all the sets together.
Yeah, it'd be nice.
Okay.
So if we are missing your comments as you're putting them in, totally sorry, but I'm going to go back in after, and I will reply back.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
I just finished the
cactus mini plants. Love putting that together. Oh, we've actually got them.
I actually have these.
Go show them. Yes.
So here's one of them. We have them all over here, kind of as like a background in most of my videos. Love these. We also just got one, was it a chrysanthemum plant from Costco that comes in its own pot? We have those as well, so I can't wait to do those. But I love the little plants, especially when they come in the pots.
I feel like this needs to go further back. That doesn't... Something is wrong here. Is it supposed to go...
He messed up again.
I'm trying to see how does this even have the room to do what it's... You see what I'm looking at here?
Yeah, these are too far down, maybe?
But then you can see the gap there.
Well, these are not far down. This is not far down enough.
But this is meshing right here.
I don't know. I can't see from over here.
Ah, I see how I did it. I figured it out. There we go. And see, if you watch on the TikTok how we've cut them all up, you never see any of these goofs because I just cut them out.
What's up to you as well?
How's it going? How's it going? I'm not down with all of the kids speak these days. Okay. So then we flip this bad boy back around. We gather up some bits and some bobs. Why'd you put that there? And we get the other one.
So if you just joined us, we are on bag 10 of 11. We are very close to being done. Once he can get his bag done, we will go back to more facts about the Falcon.
Seems like it should be right. Okay.
I can put that on once you're done with it and stick it on while you do your next one. That one?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to put this one right in this section right here. It's going to be the top part. Maybe.
Yes. There you are.
There we go. All right, so there is one part of the top of the disc right there. So he's going to be working on this part here that kind of comes together to close off the top.
And now the pieces are starting to blend together in my eyes. Ah.
So what is really weird about this, I have to say, is that this part here and this part here kind of clicked together in order to connect, but this side one doesn't have that. It feels very unstable. I'm going to try to push it a little bit more so that it doesn't look like it's coming apart.
Yeah. Yes.
He's very focused. He's
Very
getting
much.
it done.
Must be focused.
So do you feel like this build is enjoyable or not enjoyable?
One, like when my brain is in it, it feels enjoyable, but like trying to shunt back and forth, my brain does not want to do it.
What do you mean by going back and forth?
Like in between the talk, like this is literally just me learning how to do multiple things at once. Like, so when I'm in it, when I'm laser focused on it, my brain is like, yes, this is so much fun. But then like, it's so weird. And I really would like it to be, oh my,
What's
simpler.
happening?
I have no idea. But like, now that I know what it is that I'm building, I actually, like this portion here is a lot easier to do. And yes, the top of it is a little different, but it's not that different.
I will have to say, though, that I feel like there aren't a lot of like fun, unique things in this that I can hold up to the camera and go, oh, look, we have this. You know, there are no minifigs. There aren't like really cute details that I can see. It's literally, it's just a ship. There are a couple that have like a decal on it, but nothing that I can like hold up and be like, and look, there's this, you know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me because it's not really my type of theme. But
I feel like we really went through all of the stuff that was part of it already. Like, it feels like we already did it. And that's kind of sad.
Yeah, that is sad.
Because there's all the little things that we're hiding
inside
that you're never going to see.
Okay, he's about to put it on.
I think. Okay. Those are all just extra pieces. Cool. So then it goes like Come on, get in.
Yeah, you had the same issue I did.
You got to get this angled in just the right way.
Okay, you can fiddle with that, and I will start building the last bag.
Bag 11. I get these pieces put together. Put together.
Okay.
Something.
It's still not going on, right?
No, because if you see, that's banging against that.
Yeah, that is. It's okay. While he was doing that, I can build this. Ooh, we got more.
I'm going to head out. Have fun. We will.
Yes. Yes. Message me because I will talk to you about the thing. I'm glad you came in though.
Haha. Fixed it. I had to turn a piece around. But for those of you watching, we are now down to just like this piece right here, this gap, and then like a nameplate. This should be like, oh, and we're also going to be building the gun. That's fun.
The gun.
Yeah, and the satellite dish and all that stuff.
More facts?
More facts, maybe. Let's see where we might, what I haven't said yet. What haven't I said? Okay, so the Falcon that we see in they didn't have all the pieces left over from the original Star Wars movies in order to like make the Falcon again. So they had to rebuild it. All the sets for the inside of the Falcon from scratch for the new trilogy. But when they were doing the Han Solo movie, they were like, aha, let's think ahead, and they kept all the pieces. So when they made Han Solo, they really just took the same exact
Got it.
woohoo! Saved. They got all this, they had all the same pieces ready to go. They just went in and did a little set dressing. But the one thing that is new to that movie, again, is Lando's quarters and his cape closet. Again, wouldn't mind having a cape closet myself. I think men need capes. Capes are good. Capes and cloaks. And half capes. You can purchase it right now, an owner's workshop manual for the Millennium Falcon. So like, I don't know if a lot of people that aren't into cars would know about these, but like you can buy these huge owner's manuals of how to do all the maintenance and alterations to different cars. Somebody went in and did the same exact thing for the Millennium Falcon.
That's funny.
And then they redid it after the new series came out to address all of the changes in continuity since the Solo movie. So the new version of it, which came out in 2018, is the way that we see it at the end of the series. So that's kind of fun. So like you would actually be able to walk in with the owner's manual to Galaxy's Edge and be like, hey, no, I know how to take this thing apart.
That's funny.
I think that the people that work there, because the people working in Smuggler's Run really are a part of the universe. They love it. So if you were to bring that in, they would geek out. They would be like, "Oh my gosh, you're amazing! Hondo would love you." Let's see. Did I run out of stuff?
Did you?
I think I ran out of stuff.
Well,
I mean, other than like series names of different weapons that are on there. I've got the names of each of the guns in there, but that's like.
I think we didn't expect it to go this long.
Yeah, but also like we just need more. Like, we need other things to talk about.
Maybe.
Time.
Maybe.
Another thing, and I want to see if you guys, how you guys feel about it. Like most of the time when she's doing a build, she's watching something alongside of it. What do you guys think about doing a watch and build along, where we are watching a movie, but we don't like have it on screen, but like we started at the same time, we're building a Lego here, and we're watching the movie with you. How would you feel about that? You tell us in the comments. There's a lot that you should be telling us in the comments.
Yes.
Why didn't you tell us anything?
I'm gonna have to go back and like look at all of the comments.
We're gonna have like a list here of all the things that you need to put in the comments. Okay.
Really?
I guess. I mean, I'm the one that's editing this, so like I could put it right here if I wanted.
That's true. You could do that.
That's the beauty of doing things live and then doing things not live. You can do all sorts of fun stuff.
He is the editor, so he will do it. We're all alone now.
We are.
People have left me.
That's why I feel confident in being able to stand here and say these weird things, because I also know, if I need to, I can cut it out.
I'm just real tired now, guys. I'm starting to get hungry.
And my throat is like tired.
Yeah, you did speak a lot.
And normally I can be loud when I want to, but normally I'm a really silent guy. Like in my everyday life, I don't say much. Oh yeah, it's Rectenna time.
Is that what that is?
That's the Rectenna you're building.
Well, since nobody's here, let's talk about my birthday.
Ooh, let's talk about your birthday.
So why don't you tell them about what we found here in town?
So the very first thing that we found, since we live in Florida, we live in Orlando. We're not that far away from Universal, which is quickly ticking over as soon as it gets epic going. We also live close to what's known as the Florida Mall. It is not the mall of all Florida, but it's a mall that's in Florida, so I guess that counts. And we found out that there is a store that's there that does resale of Legos. What? We've been here this whole time.
No, I think it's new. I don't think it's...
Oh, they do resale.
They do, but I think that the store is new.
Oh, got you. Yeah, it's new. So, like, this is just amazing to us. And, like, she showed me, and she's like, oh, by the way, they're hiring. And I'm like, yes, they are. But are they hiring me?
That would be the question.
That store... We're gonna maybe we put the logo right here. I don't know. You should hire me. I like Legos. But we also found a store there that, and I don't know the name of that store either, but
the Lego store is called Bricks and Minifigs.
Yes, but then there's another store that you wanted to go to.
Yes,
that's in the Florida Mall. It's like a double-decker store.
That one's called Primark. If you guys know what that is.
And it's got a bunch of Disney stuff that's going on right now. So, like, we're... Ooh, yes. Yes.
Well, not right now, but, like, because it's Florida Mall. Florida Mall is very much like the tourist mall for people who are on, like, the Universal side, even the Disney side. People that go to Disney go to Florida Mall also. But it's pretty big. It's got a lot of, like, really touristy places that you can shop at. But that is why they put it there. And apparently it's very big in Britain. Primark is, and it's cheap. We're talking, like, I was telling Corey, Corey's my husband, was talking about how the prices are like Walmart prices. Like, you're going to find a shirt for $14, you know, like that kind of thing. So if you're looking for Disney stuff, but you don't want to pay Disney prices, then you can go here and get it.
Okay. I see. When I heard about this Primark location, you sent me the message. I looked at it. I was like, oh, okay, well, it's probably super expensive. But it's cool. Like, they've got some fun stuff there. Now knowing that it's super cheap, like, this sounds fun.
Super cheap.
I am not an expensive guy. Oh, you got the blaster.
The blaster right there.
That's so cute. I like that. Now it's time to build the little nameplate.
A little sign. You're very close to being done right now. Very close. And those right on the front. Just like that. And this is the additional Lego brick that goes next to it. And I believe, yes,
Ooh.
we have completed.
And then they give you the list of all the brick and part numbers. There's so many different bricks going into this.
They do this for every set that you have. They will have all the part numbers. So if you're missing one,
you know which one.
you can actually get them online. Yes. Anyway, so why don't you go over real quickly some of the cool things about this so that they can see it? I will get out of the way.
Okay. So first off, I was not sure how they were going to do the engine that you can see there. I wasn't expecting it to be light up, but the fact that it's still like pretty bright in color, I like that. And all of these little, like, they could have just put this thing here with a little peg, and you would have been okay with that. But they put all the structure that's holding the rectenna in place. Every little bit is still postable. I think you can even turn this. Yeah, you can turn this if you need to. One thing that I am a little disappointed by is the fact that we have scenes going on in each of these little areas, but we're never going to see them because you can't take this back apart. But you have Han, Solo, Han and Solo. Technically, it's Leia Organa Solo now. So Han, Leia, 3PO. You've got Luke and you've got Obi-Wan. They're all in there, but like you're never going to see them. But there's all the little details, including like these mandibles in here have been changed to have a little dock, right? So originally it didn't have that escape pod that we saw in the Han Solo movie. This was supposed to just grab hold of cargo and push it. Now it's got an actual ship dock in there, which is really cool. Yeah, this is a lot of detail, and I had no idea how this was all going to come together.
Yeah.
This is just a crazy build.
So thank you so much for watching us, and make sure you tune in next week because we have a monster build next week, and it's going to be concurrent. We're both going to do it at the same time. So we won't tell you what until later. So until next time.
See ya.
Stay zany.
Oh, yes, that's our... Until next time.
Stay zany.
Stay zany.
It's alive, so you can't really like cut that? Yeah,
no,
okay.
we can't. Oh my gosh.
How do you...
There you go.